All right, let us tackle or start tackling level 2 of Bridgemaster. Things get a little bit more exciting. My recollection of level 2 is we have only some more interesting card combinations and some interesting safety plays. Some interesting choices of like how deep to take certain finesses. Probably a bit more exciting entry management, things like that. Um, Probably, I don't know if there's any particular like new techniques per se that show up in level 2. I feel like it's just more um some more advanced or finicky usages of more fundamental techniques. Maybe towards the end of level 2 we see a little bit about throw-ins or eliminations maybe. Those are a big theme in level 3. Um they might start popping up towards the end of level 2. I don't quite recall. But we'll see what we get as we go. As usual, we'll recommend trying out these problems on your own first before following along. Uh, One of the joys of Bridgemaster is just how tactile it is. How much you can learning exactly how you can fail on certain lines. It's more visceral when you actually play the hand than when you just read this in the book. So Bridgemaster is pretty great. But let's see what we've got for A1. No opposing bidding. Have some what I would assume was some natural 2 hearts. Okay. Cool. So what have we got to start with here? We're in 3 now. We have 3 spade tricks, so I'll note that the spades are blocked. 2 hearts is 5, and a diamond is 6. And we need 9 tricks. So we need 3 more tricks. Diamonds could provide 3 more tricks. If the king is on side, we could do repeated diamond finesses. We would potentially need 3 entries to do those diamond finesses. But we do have them. We have Ace of Spades, Ace of Hearts, King of Hearts. So that could work. Um, Another option is to set up extra tricks in clubs. Where, given enough time, we actually have 4 extra tricks in clubs. So it'd just be a concern about timing. We take the Ace of Spades. We're left with 2 spade stoppers and 2 heart stoppers. And we need to knock out 2 club stoppers. So given that we start the race first by knocking out clubs, we win that race. We knock out 1 club, they knock out a spade, we knock out a club, they knock out a spade, and now our clubs are good to go. So that sounds like a pretty good approach. I don't see an issue. Whereas if we tried diamonds and the diamonds failed, they could knock out, let's say, a second spade stopper, and then we wouldn't have enough timing to try the clubs. So here, the guaranteed available tricks and clubs are the safe way to go, and we will ignore the diamond finesse. We have enough timing to use the clubs, so we should. There were a couple hands in level 1, like at least 2, maybe 3, where the suit that had the guaranteed tricks was too slow to use, and so we had to try something riskier. But here, we've got all the timing we need. We'll point out that there's no entry to these spades, or no, not in spades. We do have the Ace of Diamonds to get to them, so that seems fine. Um, is there some concern they make us use the Ace of Diamonds early? I don't even think so. If we played a club, they won, and let's say righty won and played a diamond, um, I think we would actually take the diamond finesse at that point because we have the timing to use it now. We're already ahead of step on clubs. If we took the Ace of Diamonds, so let's say we play a club, it loses to righty, they play a diamond, and we play the ace. Now we could have like a little bit more struggle getting back to our spades. Um, Not too much struggle though. We still have the Queen Jack 10 of diamonds, which will be entries. I don't think it's too much of a problem either way. But yeah, let us use the clubs. And they play a spade. All right. Let's not pitch a winning heart or club, shall we? We'll set up more clubs. The clubs are established. They knock out another spade. But we've got all the tricks we need. and then some. At this point, we have we've cashed 4 tricks, and we've actually got 6 more. So we already have an over trick. If we wanted to be extremely greedy, we could still take the diamond finesse at the end. But given that we already have an over trick, well, obviously in imps we would not do this, and at match points we also already have an over trick, which already sounds pretty good. So we probably would not try that finesse even in match points, unless we really needed a good result. Slamming. Okay, we have 1 spade, 3 hearts is 4 tricks, 4 clubs is 8, 3 diamonds is 11, and we need 12. So we need 1 more trick. We are getting all the tricks we possibly can out of diamonds, clubs, and hearts. So we need to find a way to get 2 spade tricks and not just 1. And in spades, basically you see 2 options. One is leading a low spade to the jack, and one is leading a low spade to the 9. And which of these is better? It's the I think the shorthand version of this is that leading to the jack is hoping for the king and queen to be with lefty. Like that's how the jack would win. Leading to the 9 is only hoping for the 10 to be with lefty. For the 9 to be profitable, not for the 9 to win, for the 9 to be profitable, for it to knock out a king or queen with righty's hand rather than to knock out to get one cheaply by the 10. So that the shortcut there is that feels more useful. Like the 9 is more likely to be productive, in that we're only sort of finessing against 1 card in lefty's hand for that 9 to like get us some value. We can think about this a little bit more deeply. So if we play it up to the jack, when do we actually win? And it's when West has the king and queen. If they played one of the king or queen, we'd win with the ace. We'd come back to our hand, lead up to the jack again. But that's exactly the king queen with West. If the jack loses to the king or queen on righty's hand, then they have another high honor and the 10 in between our ace and 9. They'll be able to take a second trick. It won't work. So the only way leading up to the jack works is lefty has king queen. But leading up to the 9 works whenever lefty has king 10 or queen 10, which is 2 different combinations instead of just 1. And doing that, leading up to the 9 will force righty to win with either the king or queen, and then we can finesse again, leading up to the jack the second time. And we can pick up, as long as West has the other of the king or queen. If righty has both king and queen, nothing we can do. If they have king 10, if they have queen 10, nothing we can do. So yeah, the difference between leading up to the 9 and leading up to the jack is that leading up to the jack wins with king queen on the left. Leading up to the 9 wins with king 10 or queen 10 on the left, which is 2 combinations instead of 1. And thus, we will lead to the 9. It loses to the king. That's good news. It's like the best news possible, because East would usually win with the queen if they had the king-queen, and they would certainly win with the 10 if they had the 10. So it sure looks like our second finesse is going to work. Nice. And the rest are ours. I think I mentioned maybe at the maybe it was like the second half of A1, or sorry, of level 1A. I said that level 2 definitely involves some more finesses that involve 9s and 8s. Some less obvious card combinations where you really start to appreciate those high spot cards. One spade, four spades. Now, is this going to be a strong hand or a weak hand? Okay, it is weak. You never know from the age of the software exactly what bidding style to expect. Okay. Not that weak though. This hand is actually quite good. I don't think I would have been four spades with this. I imagine I would likely have invited. Oh, I'm not sure. So we have potentially a spade loser. Three heart losers. That's four. Clubs are good, and diamonds we also have a loser. So that's five. The diamond loser looks very easy to ruff. We have so many trump in both hands that we're always going to have time to ruff that diamond. So we can just discount the diamond winner or diamond loser as it's going to get ruffed. The thing we need to be able to avoid is a spade loser. And the normal approach with 10 spades, missing the king, is to finesse. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a variant of this hand right after this one where we have 11 spades. In level 1, very early on, like I think A4 and A5, we looked at 8 ever, 9 never, where if we're missing just the queen in the suit, we should finesse with 8 cards and play for the drop with 9. When you have a king missing, it becomes 10 never, 11 ever. If you have 10 cards, you should finesse. If you have 11, you should play for the drop. And I think that's likely going to be the point of this hand. Alright, we lose our 3 hearts. Can't do much about that. And there's a club. Might as well win it in our hand as we're expecting to do some spade finesses. That diamond ruff can wait until the very end. No rush there. And so yeah, again, our choices to be a bit more explicit. Our choices in spades are to either finesse or play the ace. Playing the ace works if the king is singleton. So we're looking for a 2-1 split with the king singleton. A 2-1 split, while that is the most likely, it's like 78%, the chance that the king is the singleton is only a third of that 78%. So it's like 26% or so. Whereas the finesse, of course, is 50-50. So it should be fairly clear that the finesse is 50-50, whereas the king being in the shorthand is less than 50%. And there we go. Finesse works, and we are good to go. Shouldn't be too flippant about playing these spades. We do actually need to ruff a diamond at some point. Let's not lose sight of that. Don't let one victory make you forget about the rest of the hand. $11 spades incoming. Oh, or we switch to hearts. 11 hearts, perhaps? That's my guess. Yep. Okay. We've swapped the colors, but we've got a very similar kind of hand going on. Well, let's count our losers. 1 heart, 3 spades. Oh, actually, let's count losers from the north hand, because it has more trump. So 1 heart, 2 spades, 1 diamond. So that's 4 losers. We do have an extra winner in our hand to take care of one of Dummy's losers. But that would have to be a spade loser. Pitching a diamond wouldn't help. And they're going to take the 2 spades right away. So we have 3 fast losers in the pointed suits, which I'm guessing we are going to lose right away. Indeed, indeed. And they play a club. Okay. And so yeah, we're down to just not losing a trump. And as I talked about in the previous hand, if you have 11 cards missing just the king, the right thing is to play for the drop. And consider why this is the case. And basically this just comes down to what's more likely, a 1-1 distribution or 2-0. It turns out they're actually really, really close. A 1-1 split is 52%. and a 2-0 split is 48%. So similar to the 8 over 9 never case, where you're missing the queen, if you have 9 cards and any evidence the queen is on side, you should probably finesse. That's also like a 52 to 48% chance of the drop working. It's about 52% when you're missing just the queen with 9 cards, and it's about 52% when you're missing just the king with 11 cards. So any evidence that suggests the king is on side is probably enough that you should finesse and not drop. But in a vacuum, with no interest whatsoever, uh, we will play to the ace. Psychologically, it's useful to play the queen, because sometimes people just reflexively cover honors with honors. Maybe lefty with with king small covers the queen and gives the game away. But our intention is not to run the queen. Our intention is to play the ace and hope for the 1-1 split, which we get. And everything else is good to go. You don't get a ton of 11 card trump suits, but worth keeping this in mind should you be so lucky. All right, 3-0. I expect a major lead on this auction. There it is. What have we got? So 1 spade winner, 1 heart winner is 2, 1 club is 3. And it sure looks like we're going to get 6 diamonds. That'd be 9 tricks. Diamonds would have to be 5-0 potentially for us not to have all these diamonds as winners, and that's fairly unlikely. It's like 4%. Are there any issues? And so one is about entries to those diamonds. If we want to use these long diamonds, we should consider entries a little bit. If we take the ace and queen of diamonds and then want to get back to the diamonds, we'll need an entry, and spades is the only suit where we can get an entry. Another option is ace of diamonds, overtake the queen with the king, and then play the jack. And then we don't need a side entry, but by burning one of or two of the diamond honors in one trick, we will now require 3-2 diamonds if we're going to run all the diamond tricks. If they jump to 4-1, we would still need an entry back. Also in spades, there's like this free finesse going on, where we have to play one of the high honors from dummy, and if East either does or doesn't play the king, we could get 2 spade tricks. But that looks like a little bit of a trap on this hand. Certainly, it'd be nice to be able to account for 4-1 diamonds, so we'd like to have an entry in spades. We don't have the king, so it's possible the defenders could win the king at some inopportune moment for us. So let's consider how we should actually play these spades such that we have an entry guaranteed back to the diamonds. So we're forced to play one of these equivalent cards. And what next? The very natural thing is, of course, to duck. Someone gives you a free trick, and you say, thank you for the free trick. If we duck, though, we will have a problem using spades as an entry. If we play a low spade, they can win the king, and then the spades will be sort of blocked in our hand. We'll have to have just the ace here. Similarly, if we were to play the ace first and then the low spade, they could win the king at that time and block us out. So the way to ensure that we get a spade entry is not to take this free gift and to win this with the ace. If we win with the ace now, we will always be able to get a spade entry. It doesn't matter when they take the king. If they take the king in the first round, we'll have another spade as an entry. If they don't take the king on the first round, then there's our entry. So by overtaking this and not taking the free trick here, we guarantee an entry in spades to use the diamonds, which means we can capitalize on 4-1 diamonds. And we don't need that spade trick, right? Like diamonds furnishes us with all the tricks we need, as long as we can take all 6 of them. So we don't need to grab that trick we don't need. And indeed, diamonds are 4-1. We play up. They try to block us out once, the King of Spades. And attack some new suit. But we have cleverly left ourselves a way to get back. It's worth pointing out that if we took that spade finesse at the beginning, that free extra trick, we still need to get a bunch of tricks out of diamonds. So it really doesn't gain us anything. I mean, of course, an over trick is available. If we take 2 tricks in spades, we could still potentially get all 6 tricks in diamonds. Diamonds are likely to split 3-2. 3-2 is a very likely split. It's like 68%. So at match points, maybe you would take that, take the free trick you were offered. But at imps, it is much, much better to eschew. Four hearts. We have no heart losers. We have a spade loser. Potentially 2 diamond losers and a club. That's 4 losers total. Spade and club losers are pretty unavoidable. In diamonds, we could have no losers. If that finesse is on side, and then we could also rough a diamond, then we could have no losers at all. Though we only need to remove 1 loser, so we'll think about that. Okay. And they have led a trump. While they haven't led one of the black suits, those losers are still fast and unavoidable. There's no way that we can, like, pitch 2 spades, pitch 3 clubs, etc. So the trump lead looks good. It could cause us a little bit of problems when it comes to roughing a diamond. So if we want to rough a diamond, then we need to make sure we leave hearts and dummy to do so. Could the diamond finesse cause us a problem? There's a choice here of taking the diamond finesse or not taking the diamond finesse. And it's worth considering what the differences are. We don't need the diamond finesse to work. As we said, we only need to avoid 1 diamond loser. So focusing on roughing a diamond seems like a pretty good idea. If we took the diamond finesse, imagine what might happen. We take the diamond finesse, we play low to the queen, it loses. Righty returns a heart. And now we have 1 heart left in dummy. If we want to rough, we have to play the ace of diamonds to unblock the diamonds. And then we need a way back to our hand for the diamond rough. And there's no fast entry back to our hand outside of hearts. If we play either black suit, whoever has the ace might be able to play another heart. Take away dummy's last heart, and now we're stuck with the second diamond loser. If we eschew the diamond finesse, if we play the ace of diamonds and then the queen of diamonds, totally giving up on the diamond finesse, they could win the king, return a heart, we would win it in our hand, and we'd be ready to rough a diamond. There'd still be 1 heart left in dummy, and we would just rough. And that sounds a lot nicer and a lot more foolproof than the diamond finesse. So if we have what we might call, a practice finesse. Eddie Cantor is fond of calling these practice finesses. Well, maybe this isn't a true practice finesse. A true practice finesse is one that doesn't gain even when it works. And that's not quite true here. This finesse could give us an over trick. But that's not what we're here for. We are here for safe contracts. So let's not do that finesse. They try to get rid of our trumps, but it's too late. Or it would be too late if Bridgemaster would play the cards. There we go. You can do it. And now, either black suit that we play, they can take their aces. There is still 1 trump outstanding, worth noting. Oh, there it is. All right. They didn't give us a chance to go wrong there. The clubs aren't actually set up yet, so it's worth pointing out that we're not entirely done here. We can't just play all the cards from left to right. We do need to set the clubs up before we run out of hearts. So clubs must come next. Now all the cards in our hand are winners. like I said earlier, whenever you see a finesse, you should look for a way to avoid it. Okay, this auction actually had opposing bidding, so that's worth keeping in mind. Lefty opened a heart, and we ended up in 5 of a minor. How many Hecker points do we have? We have 10. Partner has 14, that's 24. And West should have at least 12 or so of the remaining 16. It only gives East about an ace worth. Maybe a little bit more if West is distributional, but not by much, so that might be relevant. Let's see. We are missing a diamond, absolutely. Spades are fine. We have 2 heart losers, that's 3. And I have a club loser, that's 4. And at a glance, it looks like it'd be very hard to avoid the club or diamond losers. But they didn't lead a club right away. The diamond loser is absolutely unavoidable. But the club loser we might have a chance of handling. So how can we get rid of these? We have at least 1 extra winner in spades, with a king of spades. Another extra winner is possible if we took a first round spade finesse. That would give us 2 extra winners in spades, which we could use to drop either 2 hearts or 2 clubs. One of those is a lot better option. Dropping 2 clubs gets rid of 1 loser. Dropping 2 hearts gets rid of 2 losers. I know which one I prefer. Any other ways of getting rid of those? Like, assuming that we're not going to try to get rid of the club loser, then we have to get rid of both hearts. And it does look like the extra winners in spades would be the way to go. Clubs, of course, you could set up for up to 3 extra winners, but the heart loser is already exposed because of this lead. So there's no timing to actually use the clubs. So I just talked about avoiding finesses when you can. And this way, in this hand, we can't. It looks like we're going to need that spade finesse right now to get rid of our exposed heart losers before we do anything else. If we play any other suit, they will just take the hearts. And ace of diamonds and a club will be down 2. It's possible, of course, that by playing the taking spade finesse, you're actually down 3. You lose a spade you didn't have to lose. You have a kind of guaranteed play for down 1, which is just playing ace king of spades. But we're not here for down 1. We are here to make contracts. So we need this finesse now. And not just the finesse, we actually need the spades to stand up to a couple rounds. As I said, pitching hearts is the right choice. Don't pitch clubs, or you'll still have 2 heart losers. Plus a diamond. Okay, and those 3 rounds held up, so now we ought to be okay, barring a freak club rough. Here's one interesting point. We could play low or high on this trick. If we play low and they don't take the ace, we're going to have to find a way over to our hand, which could involve playing 2 rounds of clubs. It's a little nicer, given that the diamonds are solid, to just overtake this. And not have to mess around. But okay, they take the ace anyways. And now we are safe. You can draw the trump. At some point, we have to play clubs. Before all the diamonds are gone, we have to set up a club trick. And now we're good. But, well, we like to avoid finesses where we can. They are sometimes the absolutely correct and sometimes only way to make a contract. If you don't have enough timing to do something safe, you might need to do something risky. Alright, another grand. We don't necessarily have all the spade tricks. Spades look good, but we're missing a jack, so let us count 3 spades. 4 hearts is 7, 2 clubs is 9, 2 diamonds is 11, and we need 13. We can't get any more tricks in hearts or clubs or diamonds, so we will indeed need to get to play these spades for no losers. So let's consider some options here. We have 8 spades, so anytime spades are 3-2, we're just good to go. We bang down ace, king, queen, all good. Let's consider the worst splits. A 5-0. Let's start with a 5-0 just to be to knock it out. Could we handle a 5-0 spade split? And sure, if righty had all 5 spades, we could certainly do 2 spade finesses against them for to win the 10-9. To do those 2 spade finesses, we need 2 entries to dummy, which we do have. We have ace of spades, ace of hearts. If lefty had all 5 spades, could we succeed? Yeah, I still think so. We would lead the 10 of spades. Lefty would, I say Westy again. Lefty would duck. We'd lead the 9 of spades, or duck, lead the 8 of spades to the ace. Then we get back to the king, queen. So yeah, we could handle some 5-0 splits. Could we handle both 5-0 splits? Handling it with lefty means leading the 10 of spades from our hand. And that's just not a good idea in general. So I don't think so. We can't, for instance, we can't play like the king of spades first to see who's out of spades. That works when righty has all the spades. So we play king of spades, ace of spades. Oh, even that doesn't work actually, because if we play the king of spades, we can only do 1 spade finesse against righty, and we can only do 1 spade finesse against lefty. So playing the king of spades first just can't be right if we were trying to handle 5-0 splits. It looks like we'd probably play the ace first. Playing the 10 first risks losing to like singleton jack, doubleton jack, like normal things that we'd be able to handle. So playing the king first does not look like the right choice in spades. Much rather play the ace first and then be able to pick up the 5-0 from righty. Let's look at those 4-1 splits. Assuming not singleton jack, because those will just work no matter what we do. So if righty has 4 spades to the jack, playing the king first actually is fine. Play the king, they both follow. We go up to the ace, and lefty shows out, and we're good to go. If lefty has 4 spades, including the jack, I don't know if we'd find out in time. We could play the king of spades, they both follow, and then 3-2 split's just the most normal thing, so we'd probably play the ace next. Oh, could have played the queen next. That doesn't help. We would give up on our chance to handle the 4-1 spades. I'm actually not sure if there's like a super sane way of handling the 4-1 splits. It seems like it'd be kind of a guess. There's not really a way to find out who has 4 cards. But interestingly, we can handle this 5-0 split by playing the ace first. That's like the one difference I see between the splits that we can handle and the ones we can't, is that we can handle 5-0 on the right. I don't think any line of play guarantees it against 4-1 on either side. I think we should make a guess at some point. But ace first lets us pick up 5-0 on the right. That's the one advantage I see, and so that makes me think that ace first is the right choice here. In a lot of these combinations, like we saw one earlier in level 1, where it made sense to play one of the top 2 honors from the side that had to, because it would leave, queen 10 over the jack in the right hand. It would lead like 10 and ace to capture the jack that was in the left hand. But I think that was a world where we had 1 extra card. Here playing the king first actually like ruins some chances of handling 5-0. And I don't think gains us anything. So I believe the right choice is going to be ace first. And we are immediately rewarded with the 5-0 offside split. Fantastic. Use our other spade entry for a second spade finesse. So we can win all of our small spades. And now we've only got good ones. All right. This one I'll definitely take a look at the solution. As usual with a lot of the card combination ones, I like to see how they express it. Sometimes they're able to express it in a more succinct way than I do. But this one's pretty interesting. A lot of the time, what happens is like, oh, 5-0 split, we can't handle that. But playing this way, we can handle, a 4-1 split a certain direction. This feels like the opposite to me, where there's no good way to handle one side's 4-1 splits than the others, but there's a good way to handle the 5-0 split better. And so I think that's the point here. Let us confirm. West leads the queen. They sure do. Yep, we got a bunch of tricks. And yeah, we must play spades for 5 tricks. This will indeed only pose a problem if one defender has 4 more spades to the jack. If West has lengthened spades, South could pick up the spade suit by running the 10. Yep. But that would lose to like normal combinations of East. Yeah. Exactly what they say. It'd be poor play as it would lose to more common spade holdings with the jack. We would lose to singleton, doubleton, tripleton, jack. Things that we might have handled some other way. Very sad to lose to doubleton, jack, or tripleton, jack, because that means that spades were 3-2 all along, which is like the most sane thing to play for. South should thus gear his play towards guarding against East being long in spades. Oh, that was a bit of a leap of logic, I think. I feel like I went into a little bit more detail than that. But yeah, we can handle 5-0 on the right. We can't handle 5-0 on the left in a fashion that lets us still pick up all the 3-2 holdings. Like, if we knew West had 5 spades, yes, we could handle it. But we would... The way we have to play is running the 10 of spades, and that's just bad in general. Okay. We did it. All right, Florino. You have 1 heart. What we hope is 5 clubs, but might only be 3. So 3 clubs, 3 diamonds, that's 7 tricks. If we actually had 5 club tricks, we'd be good to go. We'd have 1 heart, 3 diamonds is 4, 5 clubs is 9. So a concern in this hand then is what if we actually don't have 5 club tricks? And not having 5 club tricks means clubs are 4-0. In a 4-0 world, we can still get 4 club tricks. But we would still need to get 1 more trick somewhere else. And the last place we could get that trick is spades. So we may be using a spade finesse if we have to. Anything we can really do? These clubs are missing the Jack 10 9. Oh, that's actually interesting. If Lefty had they've given us maybe clubs just good enough to pick up 4-0 clubs with West. If West has all 4, if East has all 4 clubs, nothing we can do about it. We don't have any good clubs over East. They'll win the Jack at some point. If Lefty has all 4 clubs, in particular in this case, that is the Jack 10 9 3. We have 4 clubs higher than that. Ace, King, Queen, 5 are all then strictly higher than Jack 10 9 3. That means we could actually finesse them out of those club tricks. To do so, we can't afford to play even 1 round of clubs. We would have to take club finesses at every opportunity. Because we play the ace of clubs, then they would have Jack 10 9 against our King Queen. And that would flip a club trick. So an option then is we win the ace of hearts, and we actually run the 8 of clubs. The problem with that, though, is again, we're going to lose to some pretty normal holdings. like righty having, just a singleton nine of clubs. Um, and it seems very silly to lose to one of the very common 3-1 distributions just to pick up this rare 4-0 case. It certainly seems like to me the safer thing would be to just bash out the clubs. And if they don't split, we set up our eighth trick in clubs, and then we try the spade finesse. Oh, I guess another problem though with that is what's happening in hearts right now. Um, Hearts are weak. If we let them have a club trick, they might take any number of heart tricks. A hold up in hearts could be useful to combine with all of this. If hearts are 4-4, um, they end up with 3 heart tricks and the ace of spades. We can't let them have a club in that world. If hearts aren't 4-4 though, if hearts are like 5-3, we might give them 2 heart tricks, a club, and the ace of spades. Given that it's fine to give up the 2 heart tricks in a world where clubs work, I think this holdup looks like the right thing to do. It gives us a little bit of extra chance, because when the clubs aren't splitting, there's if we take the ace of hearts right now and the clubs don't split, then we basically have no chance. They're going to take at least ace of spades and a bunch of hearts and the club trick. But by holding up, we give ourselves a little bit of an extra chance when the clubs don't split. And either way, whether we hold up or not, club splitting is good. So we should be worried about the clubs not splitting case. We should cater for that as much as we can. Though this is actually one new concern. Holdups are nice if the opponents are actually going to keep leading that suit. Right now, though, spades are quite a worry. And righty's the one who's about to win this trick. If lefty was going to win this trick, we could duck. But if righty's going to win, they might be switching to a spade. You should be very wary about holdups when the danger suit isn't actually the holdup suit. If they have some dangerous switch, that may be a very good reason not to hold up. And so yeah, I'm quite worried about a spade switch here. We could just be down immediately in a world where clubs were totally splitting and everything was fine. So put this in context, the chance of clubs splitting 2-2 or 3-1 is over 90%. Like this, we're very likely that this contract is already making. So putting it in like any kind of danger by ducking this looks like a poor plan. What's funny is that like if it turns out that the actual solution here is to literally just try to take the top tricks, um, this becomes a kind of a funny trap hand because I feel like if you are a new player looking at this hand, that's exactly what we're going to try: is just take all top tricks. It's possible this is a trap hand for people who overthink it. But yeah, it looks incredibly dangerous to let them to let East get on lead. Okay. Ugh. I think we just have to take the clubs. But bad luck me if he doesn't follow. All right. We were good. Oh, I have instinctively done a good thing here, and may have entirely now found the actual point of this hand. I was worried about a lot of other issues, and I didn't worry about one very particular one, which is actually worth redealing for. I'm not going to change the line. What I've done so far is fine. I'll note that I've played the 8 of clubs to the ace. That's relevant. Let me go back to the full hand just to show this more properly. There is one more danger that I did not point out until I like sort of instinctually worked around it. And that is that, sure, there's 5 clubs, as long as we're careful about how we take these clubs. There's no outside entry to these clubs. So if I had taken the ace of hearts and led 2 to the ace, the clubs would actually be blocked by the 8, 7, 6. We would take the king and queen of clubs, and then a small club would stick us back in our hand. That's a danger I did not call out at the beginning here. So I got a little bit right for the wrong reasons. Talked about a lot of other interesting concerns in this hand. But the most important concern, the one where a new player actually could very likely go down in a world where everything was splitting just fine, is if you play the 2 of clubs to the ace. And I say, that instinctually I did the right thing by playing the 8 of clubs. In general, if you when you're going to try to run a suit, it is usually right to play high cards from the short side to prevent blockage. And so, like, that is my sort of default mode, is to, there's 4 clubs here and 5 clubs here. When I run the clubs, I'm going to try to play the highest cards from the short side, unless I have some reason not to. And so this does become kind of second nature at some point. So it saved me here in a world where I did all the rest of the analysis, but except for the part that was actually dangerous. Well, was actually dangerous on this layout. There were some other issues that were raised that were real. But yeah, the actual trap in this hand is not to play the 2 of clubs to the ace. We need to make sure that we unblock these clubs by playing the 8, 7, 6 underneath the ace, king, queen. All right. It's nice to see, though, that I've gotten used enough to doing this. But I did not fall victim. It was a trap hand, but not for the reasons I thought. Okay. Exciting moment. All right. Good hand from us. We have 1 spade, 1 heart, and 4 diamonds. 6 tricks off the top. And we're gonna need some more. This heart lead's pretty threatening. Hold-ups are cool and all, but not very helpful when you have so few cards. Like, the only time a hold-up would help here is if hearts were literally 7, 2, 2, 2 around the table, and we held up to, block east out of their second heart. So unlikely that a hold-up will be useful here. Where are we getting our tricks? It would be nice to get tricks and clubs, but the hearts are already getting exposed. Even in the best case, hearts are 5-4. They've got 4 heart tricks coming, assuming no blockage for them. 4 heart tricks coming plus the ace of clubs. So there is no timing to use these clubs. We will need our tricks entirely outside of clubs. In that case, that means 4 diamonds, 1 heart. That's 5 tricks. And we'll need all 4 spade tricks, which really looks quite possible. We've got a finesse against the king. Could be easy 4 tricks. So the hold-up's not necessary and not useful here. They'll just play another heart, and we won't gain anything. We literally only gain if, like, lefty had doubleton heart and the spade finesse failed, and yeah. I suppose can it not hurt? It's possible. I think it actually doesn't hurt in this hand to hold up, but it's also incredibly unlikely to gain. Okay, and so spade finesse. The one thing to be cautious of is that there are no more entries to the north hand. We're here now, which is good, because we want to lead spades from this hand, but there are no other entries back, and that is definitely worth taking note of. Because this finesse may need to be repeated multiple times. If righty has 4 to the king, say, hey, even like 5 to the king, 6 to the king, they might not win the king the first time. So imagine a world where we do the most naive thing, which is we play the queen and we play the 3 from our hand. So we play the queen, we play the 3, it wins. And then whenever we play from the north hand, if East ducks again, we have to win in the south hand with the Jack or the 10. Uh, if East actually has 4 more spades to the king, then we need a third spade finesse, but we're now trapped in our hand. And no way to get around it. So we have to be a little bit more careful with how we play these spades. And there's sort of 2 equivalent options here. Oh, actually, maybe they're not even equivalent. I was thinking there were 2 options. One was play the queen but drop the 10. That way, we can play 9 to the 3 and stay in this hand. And the other option is the reverse. We play 9 to the 3 and queen to the 10. Those actually aren't the same. If we play the queen and drop the 10, then the next round we play the 9, East wins the king, we win the ace. We're left with Jack 3 in this hand against what might still be 2 spades or more in East's hand. We can't actually afford to use 2 honors, queen and 10, on the first trick. Because we have 5 spades. We have like 5 quote-unquote top spades, not all top, wishing the king. We have 5 spades, 5 good spades to win 4 tricks. So we're fine if East covers at some point, because then we'd have, 4, we'd use 2 spades to capture the king. We'd have 4 good spades. But if we use queen to the 10 and we haven't captured the king yet, now we have 3 good spades to win, like 3 highest spades to win 3 tricks, and East could cover and cause a problem. But I think there actually exactly one approach. It has to be the 9 from our hand. That is the 100% safe line. Assuming East has the king of spades, obviously. We are pretty SOL if lefty has the king of spades. But yeah, it has to be the 9 to the 3 first. So that is a very careful bit of thing to do. If we had the 8 in this hand, then we could have done queen to the 10, 9 to the 8. But the lack of the 8 means we do have to be very slightly even more cautious with how we handle this. So 9 first to the 3. Leaves us in this hand. Doesn't waste 2 high cards on 1 trick yet. Queen, now note that we're okay if there's a cover. If there's a cover here, we win ace jack 10, and we're good to go. Okay, now we do queen to the 10. Now we do the last finesse. And when East shows up with 4 more spades, our prudence is rewarded. And importantly, of course, also do not touch those clubs. We have all the tricks we need in diamonds. If you touch clubs, you will go down. Yes, whenever you are taking a finesse, do consider entries. And especially consider that finesses may need to be repeated multiple times, depending on how well guarded the card is that you're finessing against. And good defenders will frequently not just give you that card for free. They will often make you work for it because it's very possible for you to go wrong in situations like this. Alright, 1-3 now. They're leading a spade into our king jack. That feels nice to start with at least, but let's see what's going on. So we have no top spades at the moment, though this lead certainly gives us a trick. So 2 hearts, 2 clubs is 4, 2 diamonds is 6. Where do the other tricks come from? There's no extra tricks available on hearts. There's 1 more available in diamonds if they split 3-3. There's potentially 2 more available in clubs if they split 3-2. So if we get 1 spade, 2 hearts, 2 diamonds, that's 5, then 4 club tricks would suffice. That sounds okay. In general, we like this idea of roughing or like letting a club go rather than playing ace king in another club. Though the main reason for doing that was for communication. The reason that we would duck the first round of clubs rather than play ace king in small is if we needed to make sure that we had an entry back to the clubs. But we do have a side entry in the King of Diamonds, and we might find a reason in this hand to not duck the first round of clubs. But yeah, let's play out this first trick for a sec. So no choice there. Technically, there is some choice here. You know, we wouldn't play the king, of course. We'd play the jack, or we could duck entirely. Ducking entirely could be a unique way to go down. Lefty could be leading like ace, queen, 9-8, and then some. Depending whether they would lead the 9 in the situation or not. This 8 could be fourth best from like ace, queen, 9-8, small, small, small. In which case, East winning and then leading a spade through would cause us a lot of strife. The natural thing is certainly to win the jack, and it seems like the right thing to do. Yeah, I see no particular reason not to win the jack, and I see some reasons not to duck. So Charlie's looking to work on clubs. We need extra club tricks no matter what. Like maybe you could get 2 spades and also 3 diamonds, it'd be 5 and 2 hearts. But like that would require losing a diamond, it would require them playing ace of spades and like not capturing the king. It looks like we need club tricks. What's the danger? We certainly should be concerned that lefty has the ace of spades. It's not a suit contract, they're absolutely allowed, and it's a good idea to underlead aces in no trump a lot of the time. So if righty gets on lead, they might lead through our king, and they'll take a bunch of spade tricks. If lefty is on lead, they can't attack spades from that side. Spades is a positional stopper. So it looks like as we play these clubs, we might want to be on the lookout for ways to prevent righty from getting on lead. This would be a so-called avoidance play, where you might play a suit in a slightly funny way to avoid a certain defender from gaining the lead. So let's see how that might look. It looks like we're gonna have to try these clubs. So like I said, if we had no side entry to clubs, the normal thing to do would be to duck the first round. But ducking the first round here might make it really easy for righty to get on lead. So let's take a look at this. So there's the 8. All these clubs are low, right? It's like 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. If we duck this right now, righty gets on lead, and that looks dangerous. Let's not have that happen. Come back to the ace. Play again. And now, this is exactly the interesting case that I was hoping they would show. Now, if we duck, lefty is guaranteed to be on lead. The queen is the highest outstanding card, besides, our king. If we duck now, lefty will be on lead and cannot attack spades. If we win the king of clubs and play a club, righty might win. And it seems quite likely that righty would win. Like maybe lefty has like queen jack small here. They'd usually play the jack if that was the case. So given that we have this opportunity to put West on lead and absolutely avoid righty from being on lead, this is the trick that we should duck. We should duck the one that we know isn't going to cause trouble for us. Okay. And play another heart, because it wants to set up our spade. Fair enough. Now we can try this out. Okay. So these... Okay. And it's worth noting... Oh, did we... Okay, yeah. So we got a 3-2 club split, as required, and we were careful to let lefty win the one trick that we had to lose. We may not have had that option. Like, if lefty had, 2 small clubs, this never would have been an option. But given that we intentionally didn't duck, or we didn't duck the first round, so there was a chance that maybe ducking the second round would be right. If lefty had followed low on that second round, we would still have played the king of clubs, and we would just hope that lefty had to win the third round, or that if East had to win the third round, that the ace of spades was also in their hand. So kind of by being careful about when and where we lose the club trick, we just maximize our chances of not getting completely dunked in spades. All right. Made, and as you might expect, all the spades with lefty, so our careful play here was rewarded. If we had ducked the first round of clubs, righty would have won, let us spade. If we had taken the first two rounds of clubs, if we go on like, hey, cool, a queen, let's eat it, then righty would have won the third round of clubs and played the spade. So it's very important that the round of spade we lost was the, or round of clubs we lost was the second, not the first and not the third. Whenever you have a positional stopper, you will often have some concern around keeping a particular defender off lead. This auction is a fantastic auction. I expect here that 5-no trump is what they call a Grand Slam force. Which basically asks partner to bid 6 if they have one of the top 3 cards, and bid 7 if they have 2 of the top 3 cards. And they've got 2. And here we are. So North is expecting that it's going to be 7 club tricks from the 3 clubs opening, plus 5 ace or 5 top tricks, ace, king, queen, ace. That's 13 tricks, and then something else. And that something else is probably the spade growing up. That hopefully either the 10 becomes established, or partner could have the jack of spades. Also, partner could have the king of diamonds. They could have the king of hearts. They could have a singleton heart, and hearts might set up. There are a lot of chances for a 13th trick here, so it is a reasonable thing. Like that jack of clubs could have been the jack of spades, and then this contract would basically, it would just be cold, absolutely cold. But here we are, and it is not quite cold yet, or at least I've not analyzed to see if it is cold. Let's find out. Clubs, we are good to go. We've got 10 clubs. We have the top 4, so no club losers. Hearts, 2 losers. Spades, totally fine. Diamonds, totally fine. So we have 2 heart losers to tackle. We have 1 clear extra winner in spades. We have ace king to take care of the small spades, and queen is extra. If we want 2 extra winners in spades, though, then we'll need that 10 to become a winner at some point. And there are options. We could bang down the ace, king, queen of spades, hope for the jack to fall, or we could finesse. And of course, the right way to do that would actually be to cash the ace of spades and then finesse, because we'd like to capitalize on a potential offside singleton jack. We cannot cash ace, king of spades and then finesse, because we would have no spade left in our hand to do the finesse with. So yeah, it does look to me like the right choice here is going to be ace of diamonds, draw trump, ace of spades, back to our hand, do the finesse. Worth actually analyzing the difference between taking the finesse at all versus just banging down the ace, king, queen. Without looking further, I believe it's the case that if we had 7 cards, playing ace, king, queen is correct. But with 6 cards, I'm pretty sure the finesse is the right choice. Maybe this is another we've seen our 8 ever, 9 never. We've seen our 10 never, 11 never. This looks like this is our 6 never, 7 ever. When we're finessing against, or we're just missing a jack. If I want to actually do the actual math on this, so they have 7 cards. That means even a 4-3 split is the nicest, and in a 4-3 split, the jack is more likely to be with the person that has more spades. So no matter what the split is, the jack is more likely to be the long hand than the short hand. So without even doing any actual math, it's clearly less than 50%, because the jack is just always more likely to be in the long hand. Whereas the finesse is 50%. So that is the shorthand math for this. The finesse is definitely better than banging down ace, king, queen. But we should play the ace first to give us a little bit of extra chance of dropping a singleton jack. One more potential concern about playing the ace and then coming back to this hand to do a finesse is entries. If clubs end up being 3-0, I would want to make sure to end in my hand. We can do a bit of a test of that. We can actually do one round of clubs, okay, to see if they're splitting. If they were splitting 3-0, then I would go ace of clubs, ace of spades, and play the last club back to this hand. But if they're going to split nicely, then let us draw them. So that's ace of spades. Give us that chance of a singleton jack. Back to our hand. And then up to the 10. And there we go. And that gives us the 2 winners that we need. Pitch these hearts. Certainly a good Grand Slam to be in. Could have been cold from North's point of view. Could have been absolutely lay down. And it wasn't quite, but it definitely had a better than 50% chance. Alright, more slams. Missing a few kings. So partner has some. Alright, there's a couple. Missing an important queen as well. So in spades, there is concern of 2 losers. Hearts, we don't have any, so no losers there. Clubs, totally solid. Diamonds, totally solid. So let us not lose 2 spades. The absolutely normal and probably only option in the spade suit is to take a double finesse. We take 1 finesse against the king-queen, and we expect that it loses to one of the king or queen. But then we repeat the finesse, hoping that righty has the other of the king or queen. As long as righty has at least one of these, we are good to go. Such a finesse is going to require 2 entries to the north hand, as even if they don't put up an honor, all the south cards are higher than the north cards, so we will necessarily get forced into the south hand. And we do certainly have 2 entries. We have more than 2 entries. We've got king of clubs, we've got king of diamonds, we've got jack of diamonds. So if we're careful, we could do queen of diamonds to the king, 2 of diamonds to the jack. And given that we have 3 entries, only need 2, we can then consider which 2 entries are the safest entries to use. Diamonds are shorter, so a diamond entry first is definitely the safest. But it could take a little bit of analysis to say whether a second diamond or a first club is the safest second entry. So let's consider that. We must rough this, or we'll be down off the top. And so yeah, I would say that diamonds are shorter than clubs, so a diamond entry right now is the safest thing. I'll do queen to the king just to leave us an option of a second diamond. Second diamond entry. Do the finesse, fully expecting that it will lose to one of the honors. They still have 2 left. And it's true that they're forcing us to rough in the long hand. Luckily, that's okay in this hand. They have 2 spades left. We'll be able to pick them up, as long as lefty doesn't have both of them. And now we need another entry up to the north hand. Potentially. I mean, we are allowed at this point to bang down the ace and hope for a 2-2 split. But that's typically a poor choice against doing the finesse again. That's basically counting on West to have had exactly King Queen Doubleton. Like that's the only time it gained, and that's a very specific holding. So which of clubs or diamonds is actually safer to go back in? What is more likely? A first round ruff, we have 8 cards, or a second round ruff when we started with 7? 5-0 split is about 4%. That's our chance of a club ruff. In diamonds, we had 7, and we're concerned about the 5-1 split. That's about a 15% chance. So it certainly looks like our second entry should be clubs and not diamonds. And I'll do the finesse again. And it was necessary to do the finesse again, which is not too surprising. All right, good to go. You might wonder, perhaps, if we need to have 2 entries, could we not have done, if we're going to do a diamond and a club entry, could we do the club before the diamond? But you should definitely take your absolute safest entry first. Because if you use that safe entry and you get to draw at least 1 round of trump with it, that might be the round of trump that takes all the trump away from the person who has the club void for your second entry. So definitely do your entries in like decreasing order of safeness. All right. 3 now, and again, that was no interesting opposing bidding. All right. We have 3 spades, 2 hearts is 5, 3 clubs is 8, and we'll need a 9th trick. No more spades to get, no more hearts to get, no more clubs to get, so we're going to want that trick in diamonds. All right. We've seen this situation a couple times where we have a race to establish tricks. We have 2 heart stoppers, they have 2 diamond stoppers, and they're the ones kicking off this race by leading a heart. That means they're going to win this race. So at a glance, it looks like we actually might not have time to set up the diamonds. They knock out a heart, we knock out a diamond, they knock out a heart, we knock out a diamond, and all their hearts are good to go. But in this hand, we do need the diamond tricks. There's no other way to get tricks. So can we do this a little bit safer? I alluded to this in an earlier video about times where you might want to do a hold up, even though you have the top 2 cards in a suit. And at a glance, this looks like one of those times. So the idea here is if hearts are 4-3, we're just fine. We'll get 2 hearts, they'll get 2 hearts and 2 diamonds. That's cool. If hearts are 5-2, then we would sure like it if we made it hard for one of those people, the person with 2 hearts, to lead hearts again. And so let's imagine a world where if the ace and the king of diamonds are both with the person who has the long hearts, this hold up doesn't matter. They'll just win every diamond and like attack hearts every opportunity. If the person with the short hearts has the ace and king of diamonds, then we also I don't think need a hold up. We would win the first we'd win the first heart, we'd play a diamond to the short heart hand. They would play back their last heart, which we'd win. We'd play a diamond to the short heart hand, and they would have no more hearts left. So I think the interesting case is hearts are splitting 5-2, and the diamonds are also split between those 2 hands. When the diamonds are split between the 2 hands, the defenders, assuming they're cooperating properly, can choose which of them wins the first diamond and which of them wins the second diamond. And they're going to want the long heart hand to win the second diamond at a time when all of our heart stoppers are gone. Sorry, can I actually make use of that? If we duck a heart now, and then win another heart, yeah, okay. I see how this will work. So now imagine the effect of ducking the first heart. Let's actually do it. We're hoping for this like 5-2 heart split. I mean, 4-3 is not a problem. So the interesting case is 5-2. So if that's the case, by ducking the first heart trick, the shorthand is already out of hearts. If they win the first diamond trick, they can't use that entry to clear hearts. Which means when the long hand wins the second diamond trick, hearts aren't clear yet, and they can't run the hearts. And if it works the other way around, if the long hand wins the first diamond trick and clears hearts, then when the short hand wins the second diamond trick, they have no hearts to lead. If we did not duck that first heart, then the short hand would have won the first diamond trick and cleared hearts, and the long hand would win the second diamond trick and run hearts. So that is the world where this holdup is necessary, and it has to be on the first round. And now we just play diamonds and we hope. We hope that the long hand doesn't have ace king, or the hearts are 4, or we have to hope the hearts are 4-3. But it appears to be working. They didn't lead a heart now. If they didn't lead a heart now, then they don't have the timing to run the hearts. All right. They win that one. They can try to clear hearts, but it is too late. And we get an over trick. This one's worth showing taking a stare at on on one's own. To hopefully I explained it decently, but like the idea of where you might have to hold up when you have two stoppers is an interesting one. And so now that we can see all the hands, we can see what would happen if we won the first heart trick. So they play a heart to the king and we win. We play a diamond, righty wins, plays a heart. We could try holding up now. We could duck this first, we could duck their heart because it was the last heart. Oh, maybe that would also have worked. Maybe we could duck the second round of hearts. Now, does that work? No, it doesn't work. Because what happened, let's say, I'll try again. So Queen of Hearts, we win with the king. We play a diamond over to East Ace. They play a heart. If we try to duck now, Lefty is going to overtake and clear hearts from their side. And they're still going to have a diamond entry. So the holdup only works if we do it on the first round of hearts. We can't do it later. More or 3, no. This hand looks a little like it might be similar. Oh, is it? Oh, yeah, okay. So we have 2 spades, 2 hearts, that's 4 tricks. 4 clubs is 8. We need one more trick, and it has to come from diamonds. This hand does look a little familiar to the previous one. That again, we have this race of diamonds versus hearts. What would stop us from doing the same thing that we just did on the previous hand, ducking the first round of hearts? And one big difference in this hand is that we actually have a suit we don't want them to switch to. If we duck a heart, they might switch to spades, where we also have only 2 stoppers. And there's no holdup available there. They just they just will absolutely be able to force out our stoppers. We don't want that to happen. We would rather that hearts is the suit that they're going after, because as we said in the previous hand, if hearts are 4-3, we're just fine. We could handle 4-3 hearts. If we duck this heart and they switch to spades, a good spade split is not going to save us. They are absolutely going to have the time to knock out all these spades, to get rid of our spades and run a bunch of tricks. So here's an example. here is the slight variation where we should not hold up the first trick. And as mentioned in the previous hand about hold-ups, you should not hold up if there's a dangerous suit the ops might switch to. That tends to be like one of your primary reasons for not holding up. So in this case, we're just going to hope that things work out in hearts. Either they're 4-3, or the shorthand has both the diamond entries, or practically that the defenders mess up the diamond entries, which can certainly happen. They do have to cooperate properly to make sure that the right hand wins the first trick versus the second trick. Let's say King of Diamonds. All right. Going to take these tricks. We don't want to give them a chance to have tempo to switch to spades. If they had switched to spades right there, that would have been too late for them. We would still have a spade and a heart stopper with only one more diamond to knock out. So continuing hearts looks right. And the hope is that either the split, or yeah, that righty wins the diamond and maybe has no hearts left. And that looks like that's what happened here. So shorthand had both of the diamond honors. And we were safe. So if we couldn't rely on the hold up to make things safe, we would have to rely on things just being okay in the first place. And yet again, we get an overtrick. Which they don't let us take. Well, this hand is different. Alright, 6 spades. Oh, let's count some losers. In spades, there could be multiple. We could lose the queen and the 10. So, gotta watch out for that. Could have 2 spade losers. Could have 2 heart losers. Clubs are fine, diamonds are fine. So, a potentially pessimistic world of 4 major losers in our 6 spades contract. We'll have to work around that. There could be no spade losers. Like an example layout is where the queen falls doubleton under the ace-king. We would have no spade losers then. We can't use extra winners or roughs or anything to get rid of spades. This, the trump suit always has to be played in isolation. We do have 2 extra clubs though, guaranteed, which could drop 2 hearts. So it looks like hearts are not actually an issue after all. We had clubs to pitch the hearts. So it looks like this is just going to come down to playing the spade suit for 1 loser. And 1 loser is fine. The hearts are actually totally covered by clubs, as it turns out. 1 spade loser is fine, so we should maximize our chance of getting 4 tricks, even perhaps at the cost of taking all 5. This first play is forced. So now let's consider how we might play the spades. Banging down the ace-king of spades will succeed on any 3-2 split. If lefty had 4 spades, like queen 10 fourth, it would not succeed. They would win the queen 10 next. If righty had 4 spades, similar problem, they could win the queen 10 next. Assuming it's not like a queen falling or a 10 falling. If the queen or 10 falls at any point, we're good to go, because those are the only cards they could possibly win. So let's perhaps consider actually handling some of the 4-1 splits. If East had all 4, or sorry, had 4 spades, including the queen 10, we could run the jack, queen, ace. We could come back and finesse against the 10. If they played low and the jack lost to the queen on the left, we could still come and try to finesse against the 10. It looks like it'd be safe to play 1 high round of spades first. I think this is going to be another case of one of these finesses where, like, if the finesse loses, it means the suit is splitting. So if we play the ace of spades and they both follow, we could then do some unnecessary finesse, like running the jack. And if it loses, then the spades are splitting. And if it doesn't... Oh, actually, no, that's not quite true. We shouldn't lead the jack. We might do maybe ace of spades and then lead up towards the jack. That that seems okay to me. So ace of spades, lead up towards the jack. If lefty pops the queen or 10, we're good to go. Because either they pop the queen and the jack is good later, or they pop the 10 and we cover, and now they only have one trick. If lefty shows out on the second round of spades, we can still play the jack into the queen, and then we can go back and finesse against the known 10. The finesse against the 10 is now marked. If we play ace of spades, low, lefty follows low, we play the jack, and it loses to the queen, then the spades are splitting 3-2, and the king will drop the last one. So this looks like a 100% line for 4 tricks to me. That's ace of spades, low to the jack. Yeah, when the queen comes out, we just duck. Now lefty has the 10, but they also only have 2 spades, so we'll be able to crush it. We play the jack of spades. And once again, we have our favorite game, find the safest way back to our hand to draw the last trump. We have 7 hearts and 6 clubs, so clubs is safer. And draw the last trump. I didn't talk too much about the other entries, but it's worth pointing out that we've got plenty of entries to the clubs to pitch all these hearts. All right, 2 spades on the left, worth taking note of. Oh, and they lead the jack. That's actually quite interesting. It's pretty unlikely they have the ace as well for that. So that's quite a light preempt for 1995. But all right. 3 Oh, sorry. This is no trump. So never mind. Lefty's got the ace, almost certainly. And that's probably going to be relevant. So we have 2 hearts, 1 club, 2 diamonds, 5 tricks. Gonna need some more. Spades, of course, can provide us a trick. This lead guarantees us. Well, we already guaranteed a spade trick, I suppose. We should expect lefty to have the ace on this auction. Jack 10 6 is not the nicest preempt suit. And for people writing the software, they have a pretty traditionalist style. So lefty's got the ace of spades. Nowadays, people get kind of crazy. Maybe not. Hearts, no extra tricks. Diamonds, again, 1 trick is available if they split, but the obvious source of tricks here is clubs. And the danger that's brewing is that if we win this jack of spades, so let's say we play from north, it's forced, and we were offered this option here of playing a spade. If we win let's say the queen of spades, and we take a club finesse, that could lose to east, who could then lead through the king of spades. And that would be no bueno. West very likely to have the ace of spades. East quite likely to have the king of clubs on this auction. So it doesn't look great. Could we cut off the communication in spades by not taking this trick? If we duck, and... Oh, actually, first let's put it this way. How many spades does righty have? On this auction, we certainly expect that lefty has 6. So it should be 3 from us, 2 from north, and 2 from east. So if we duck this, and west continues a spade, like, the ace, say, it doesn't really matter which, east will be out of spades. And now the club finesse into east will be, 100% safe. We don't actually need 5 club tricks. If the finesse loses, we'll have 4 club tricks. one spade, two hearts, two diamonds. And that's all that we need. So not letting righty on lead at a time when it could be dangerous seems like a wise option. If we duck and lefty switches suits, do we have any concern? If they play clubs, we were going to just like duck a club anyways. If they play hearts or diamonds, we've got double stoppers in both of them. So there's no dangerous suit that West could switch to. So let us cut off this communication by holding up in spades. We'll leave our entries to the clubs. All right, club finesse. Expected to lose. Have I erred? Possibly. We haven't actually set up a spade yet. Which means we have one heart, four clubs, that's 5, two diamonds, that's 7, to go with the one trick that we currently have. We might still be okay, but if we take the king of club or king of hearts, when we try to set up a spade, lefty could win the ace and then lead the heart back. And that sounds dangerous. What we could do, I don't know if we have to recover in this situation, but we could duck this heart. As again, another hold-up, hoping that lefty has at most 3 hearts, which is not an unreasonable hope, given the 2 spades opening. Some people don't like to preempt with 4-card majors. Let's hold up a bit more. All right. We got our trick. We still need a spade trick. They have 2 diamonds, 4 clubs, and 2 tricks already. That's 8. We still need a spade. Let us hope that lefty doesn't have the 4th heart. Aha. All right. I scared myself a little. But perhaps perhaps it wasn't actually anything else we could have done about that. But I think this was just a tale of 2 holdups. There was a danger I had not foreseen. I said that we had 2 double stop suits and there would be like no issue. But I failed to account for was the fact that our spade trick, we didn't actually have it in hand yet. By ducking the spade, we still needed to actually set up a spade later. Let's take a look at the solution on this, because yeah, I did scare myself a little when I saw the potential for going down. But we didn't actually have 9 tricks in hand. All right. West has a king of clubs. We can get 5 club tricks. That's true. And if East has it, only 4 club tricks. Yeah, 4 club tricks could still be enough, but not if they're going to run spades at us. So they're going to talk about that danger that I talked about. South wins the opening lead, and East has a king of clubs, and that's exactly the concern that I had. We run the club into East, they play the spades through, and we're down. And they're just going to show us how we can go down. Yep. West is known to have 6 spades to the ace for the opening week 2 bid. Probably. Maybe not playing with some people I play with. But yeah, in general, we would expect that. If we allow West to hold the opening lead, the defense is left without recourse. Well, they're left without recourse in the world where they can't, like, set up a heart trick. So West continues spades. Yep. East has no spades when they win the king of clubs. If West was just a heart set trick 2, yeah, then we're... Oh, this is actually a good point. If they had switched, which they did. Oh, sorry, never mind. Sorry, let me continue. We play on clubs. They're going to show the line that actually happened. East may continue hearts. That South can hold up once. Yeah. So that is the line we ended up with here. My concern as soon as I saw this Heartbleed come back was they're knocking out our last Heartstopper, and we still haven't set up that spade trick. So they could be in a position to grab a heart after the spade. But again, on the bidding, especially if we're taking a very traditionalist view of what West should have, they ought to have the Ace of Spades, and they typically ought not to have a 4-card side major. But if they had 4 hearts, we would have been in trouble. Okay. And yep. And that's what we did. We got it. Alright, last hand in the first half of level 2A. 4 hearts. Alright, a potential heart loser. 2 spades is 3, a diamond is 4, and clubs are good. They may be grabbing the first 3 tricks, in which case we'll have to play the hearts for no losers. There are no extra winners we could use to get rid of spades. Given enough timing, we could use spades to get rid of diamonds, but we already don't have that timing because they're playing this right now. So we're forced to do both of these, and forced to do this. Okay. They have not taken their spade winners for what it's worth, but there's also no way for us to get rid of those, to get rid of our spade losers. So let us turn our attentions to playing hearts for no losers. Okay, and I see the something that you could do wrong on this hand. So certainly a position we've seen very, very common. Or just missing the queen. We like to do a finesse. And there have been times where we've said it's a good idea to cash a high card before taking the finesse. Like if we cash the ace of hearts first, we could pick up a singleton queen with lefty. But we only have 2 hearts in the north hand, which means we can only take this finesse twice. If we played the ace of hearts first, we can only take the finesse once. And if we play ace of hearts, take the finesse once, that'll pick up 3 hearts to the queen with east, but we can't pick up 4. If we don't play the ace of hearts first, we can pick up 4 hearts to the queen with east by taking the finesse twice. And so there's a trade-off there, right? If we play the ace of hearts, we can pick up singleton queen on the left. If we don't play ace of hearts, we can pick up 4 to the queen on the right. Which of these is more likely? We should cater to the one that's more likely. And there's exactly 1 distribution of the hearts where lefty has singleton queen, whereas there are 4 distributions of the hearts where West has singleton something besides the queen, one of the other 4 cards, which is the opposite, which is East having 4 to the queen. So East having 4 to the queen is actually 4 times as likely as West having a singleton queen. So that's what we should cater towards. We should not cash the ace of hearts first. We should go and take 2 heart finesses. And if hearts are 5-0 either way, we can't make it. 1 finesse. 2 finesse. Also worth pointing out that we had 2 club entries. If we didn't have 2 club entries to take 2 finesses, then absolutely bang down the ace first. But given that we can take 2 heart finesses, we should. And we are paid off when East shows up with 4 to the queen. There's our 10 tricks. This is one of these habit unforming hands. They show you some hands early on. I think it was as early as like level 1 A4, where they're like, take the ace of hearts before you finesse. And that was a world where I think it was like Jack 10 9 8 in dummy, and like say like ace king small small in the south hand. So there were a lot of entries, or they were able to repeat that finesse multiple times because there were so many cards in dummy to lead. But here, with only 2 cards in dummy, we should consider whether it's actually worth spending that round, because every round we spend cashing a high card is one fewer finesse we can take. All right. So do we actually make it through without any errors? I was concerned on that one hold up hand, but it looks like we did it. So off to a good start on level 2. It's 18 of it's actually 126 problems in level 2, as there are in 3 and 4. Those are the hefty levels. I'll see if I can keep my winning streak up as we go. All right, thanks for watching, and I'll come back with the second half of level 2A at some point.